Peace and love, everyone. Sending you all positive energy, high vibes, and great light. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You hit the like button. You leave me any comments or questions in my description below. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the Hall of Judgment. Okay? That was found in ancient Kemet. Okay? It was a practice that they did, and it was symbolic to the weighing of the heart. Okay? So, the weighing of the heart determined if the soul went on into paradise and lived with the gods and lived an abundant life of happiness, harmony, and peace. Okay? So, what happened is they had 42 judges. Okay? And the 42 judges helped determine once the person stated the negative confessions, okay, they would be able to be determined by also the weighing of the heart, because the judges could reconsider if the person was speaking out of being sincere and honest. Then they could reconsider and let the person actually go on into paradise, okay, of eternal bliss. Okay, so basically the 42 laws is symbolic to living in righteous with a peaceful, harmonizing heart, and it had to be light as a feather. So it was symbolic to the Kemetic god known as Mayet, or either Met. Okay, and she stood for balance, order, harmony, law, morality, okay, and justice. Okay, so individuals will have to go in front of the 42 judges, and Anubis, also Dahuti, Thoth, and Asar assisted with weighing of the heart. So they placed the actual heart and also the feather, which stood for Mat, okay? Truth, morality, balance, justice, order, okay? And if the person found to have a heart light as a feather, they would go on and live an eternal, happy, harmonious, peaceful life with the gods, okay? If it was found that the person's heart was heavy, filled of hate, greed, anger, consistent negative energy or whatnot, the person would have to go and reincarnate and go back to earth and try over again, basically. Okay, so when we look at the energy of the origins of the weighing of the heart, the rules that was used was basically based upon being a peaceful and a righteous individual, because ancient Kemet was one of the first organizations that practiced African spirituality. And it was all about being a righteous individual, not living in sin, but being able to make choices from having a heart light as a feather and living as a righteous and peaceful individual, and not operating out of their ego, out of hate and negative energy. Okay, so it was just to show the divine masculine and the feminine, and basically the individuals in Kemet how to live righteous, okay, and not live as savages, but be kind and operate from the harmonizing field of love. Okay, so they also wanted us to have the understanding of the origins that everyone was connected as one. Okay, so they applied the rules to nature, also to the gods, okay, to all living things, and they also applied them to their world as well. Okay, nature, the gods, the animal kingdom, and it's all a part of divine oneness. And they also wanted us to have the understanding as within, so without. So once the soul went over into the afterlife, they wanted to have a guidance, as just as well as we're in the physical realm now, and we have ascended masters guiding us throughout our journey. Okay, actually in the physical realm, well, they wanted to have the same as the soul passed on into the afterlife. Okay, so they want us to have the understanding as within, so without. And this was practiced by the ancient god Dahuti of the Emerald Tablets. Okay, to have the understanding, as above, so below. Okay, and we're dealing with as above, so below. We have the understanding that we have, as we see what's without outwards, it also applies inwards. Okay, 6:06 on the clock. So they just wanted us to have the understanding of that, to have a higher level of consciousness and be able to navigate throughout the universe smoothly. But we have to have the understanding to operate out of love, out of peace, living righteous, to be able to have an abundant life, full of love, full of harmony. Okay? Always be mindful of that. So the 10 Commandments derive from the 42 laws of Matt. Okay? That's where they came from. But like I say, and if you hear me teach all the time, it's no matter who was first or who was last, what was taken, it's all about divine oneness. Everyone is on one accord. Everyone is putting the differences aside. Okay, and all traditions are coming together as one and taking the knowledge that we all have as a collective consciousness, as a whole, and expressing it outwards to help humanity. Okay, that's what it's all about. It's about soul evolution, creativity, being righteous, being love, and being kind. And they wanted to express that throughout the world. They wanted us to have the understanding of that. It's all about love, okay? It's all about helping each other heal, okay? And being kind and being nice, So when we think of the 42 laws of Matt, it's not to be as to look at it in the sense of holding something over our head, and we can't do this, we can't do that. But to look at it as spiritual discernment, to be able to have the understanding, I need to do this in order to live as a righteous being. I had to have great responsibility, and rules, and not to look at rules as a bad thing, but something to help us to have balance and discipline. That's what it's all about. It's about being balanced with the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that's what all Kemet knowledge was about. Okay? And also spiritual discernment in other traditions is all about soul evolution. And us, taking some responsibility for the things that we done that we know that is not good. And we can't change them all, but change our level of consciousness with it to be like, okay, I know that this is low vibrating. This is not good for me. This is not going to fulfill my heart. This is not going to help me on my journey. So I need to get rid of it. I need to release the negative baggage and operate more out of the harmonizing field of love. So that's why the systems were set up like this, and they did the specific rituals they did, not to have us to live in fear, to be fearful and afraid, but to have the understanding to live righteous, live peacefully, and live out of love. Okay, so that's what the weight of the heart was symbolic to, and our heart It's the harmonizing field. It's the highest vibration to emit to, you know. So it expressed our emotions, our personality, and our intellect, excuse me. And it helps us to go enter inside, you know, and see what we need to discern internally. I always say enter, you know, because we go inside and we fix what need to be fixed in order to grow, to ascend, and to have a higher level of consciousness. In order to create our manifestations, we have to go into the unknown, into the dark space, and get familiar with it and spend time there in order to help us. You know, so it's everything is not going to be so good, but everything in the universe has divine timing, and it also has a great meaning behind it all. When we're dealing with African spirituality, divine oneness spirituality, we're dealing with the core of everything in the center. Okay, all starts inwards and it expresses itself outward. But before it expresses itself outwards, it has to have the understanding of being self-aware. Okay, being aware of what it's doing, recognizing self-discernment, self-acknowledgement, you know, things of that sort. So once we have the understanding, we have the awareness, we expand out. You know, it's an expansion. So it's always great to be able to have the understanding of how these ancient laws was used, okay? And how can we use them to help us on our journey, you know? So it's people that is still using the 42 laws of Maya to this day. And it helps them to live righteous, live in harmony. And it helps them with soul evolution, you know, because it's all about having a pure heart, you know, and operating out of love. 222 on the clock. And have the understanding, you know, no matter what it is, far as the studies and where it come from. But if it's to help us have soul evolution, to elevate and to raise our consciousness level, it's okay to use it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it just because it's another tradition. You know, don't let that stray us away from it if it can help us to vibrate on a high frequency of love. We're in the golden age, you know, and it's all about soul evolution and coming together, being one within ourselves first, you know, and doing all the necessary work, you know, and helping others, you know, all coming together on one accord, which we already are. We just, some of us are unaware of it, you know, and we want to just come together, be as one, be love, be peaceful. That's why it's always great to practice forgiveness, hold no hate, hold no anger, and hold no greed, and just live out of love and be peaceful. Okay, so I always be familiar with that. I just wanted to come on and shed some light of the Hall of Judgment, how it was practiced in Kemet, okay, how we can take these 42 laws, the actual interpretation of them, and we can actually still use them today to help us vibrate out of the harmonizing field of love, okay? Always be familiar with that. I love you all. I'm sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, all positivity. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You hit the like button and you leave me any comments or questions in my description below. I love you all, and I'll be back with more. Peace and love.